UFO or ET encounter. So that's a lot of people, and that's not even worldwide. So how many people have been, abducted or seen a UFO? There's just so many of them out there. And it's
really
going on
true.
all the time. There, people are seeing these lights in the sky, these orbs moving around. It's been pretty intense lately.
And it would be hard to convince you that there aren't any aliens, right, Betsy?
Right. I know they're there. They've been here a long time. They've been here for thousands of years visiting us, and it's not just one species of alien. The Maya people, the indigenous people around the world have known about these aliens. They call them sky people, and they've had interaction with them, since thousands of years ago.
And look at some of the pictures and different things that are found even through even like Egyptian writings and different things that
Mhm.
seem to describe and
Right.
depict like alien ships or celestial
Yeah.
beings. It's like, and then plus the technology that seems to have been there and then
Uh-huh.
left and then now
Uh,
has resurfaced.
yeah, in Abydos, Egypt, there are wall carvings that look like modern day submarines and helicopters. I mean, how in the world,
Yeah,
how did
and
they get there?
And then you wonder, you're like, okay, how in the world? And then, like, maybe even if those things did not exist at the time, who's to say that those weren't premonitions of that
Right.
person of the future? A lot of the technology that we do have right now, um, I mean, just think about it 100 years ago. We did
Mhm.
not. I mean, in our lifetime, if you think
Right.
about it, we did not even have cell phones in our earlier ages just and this is just our generation. So it's interesting to me that it could go from so much, like so olden day, like literally the last, what would you say, 50
Well,
years?
the internet itself is barely 20 years old.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
remember my life before the internet.
yeah.
I'm 33.
Yeah, exactly. It's like if you think about where's all the information coming from in the last, even if, let's say you said 50 years, that's before we were born.
Mhm.
Right.
Mhm.
you know? And
Mhm.
so, I mean, there's
Sure.
been so much. And then, like, I don't know. I think it's so hard not to investigate. Like, why are we being just flooded with information
Mhm.
and how? And
Yes.
so, when you're saying like when you were visited and you've had visitation and everything else with UFOs or contact and everything, um, didn't you say that you did receive information?
When I was 7 after my UFO encounter that chased me home, I started having dreams of major earth changes. Then recurring dreams night after night. I would, in the dream, I would be with a group of people, and I would see volcanoes going off. I would be standing on a pier, and huge waves coming in, tsunami type waves. I'd feel the winds, hurricane type winds. There was shaking. So, and I think we're in those times right now. I feel it. I've always felt that something major was going to happen, later in my lifetime. And look what's happening to the world right now. The sinkholes forming all
Yes.
over the world.
Those freak me out.
The earthquakes, Nepal, 7.8. There's just been a ton of earthquakes and strange earthquakes. Las Vegas just had an earthquake, 5.4 yesterday, and just places that usually don't have earthquakes are having earthquakes. All the swarm earthquakes in Oklahoma and Kansas. So something strange is going on. And look at the weather, the crazy weather that everybody is having.
Exactly. I mean, the changes are all around us. It's incredible. And one of the things I want the listeners, before we go to our first break, I just want to give you an opportunity because we started talking before you really got to, give everybody an idea of who you are, how it is that you're on every radio show. You have a radio show. I mean, you're just an
Right.
amazing, in
Thank
tune
you.
woman. You're very welcome. And how did you go from growing up, having a few scattered experiences? What did you do like for the start of your adult life? And then how did you decide, I guess, inside yourself to basically kind of turn your direction and just focus on earth and energy and getting the word out here and complete spirituality? I mean, you literally, I think you started, your career one way and then now look at
Hmm.
you. Like, so, I mean, The floor's all yours. I could talk
Well,
forever. So.
thanks. I grew up around nature. My parents were outdoors enthusiasts. They loved the outdoors. We were camping all the time. My father had property in northern Nevada where he was doing mining, so we were out in high desert area, and there was nothing around there. So I observed nature all the time. The ants, what they were doing, the frogs, the different sounds, everything is so alive, and everything has a consciousness. And I think we've gotten so far away from that. But growing up around that, I grew up at a lake. When I was 11, my parents bought a lake resort. It wasn't fancy or anything. It was down in the Snake River Canyon, and I was fishing. I was around animals all the time, horses. So, there was just that affinity for nature and that love of nature. And the mountains, I can tell you, I just love the mountains and the rivers and the lakes. Mm-hmm. And I've always had that. And then during the 90s, I spent a lot of time with Native Americans. I had two wonderful mentors. There was Corbin Harney, who was the Shoshone leader of, spiritual leader of the Shoshone tribe. And he passed away in 2007. And then Ed McGaw, who's still alive, and he's just amazing. He's a spiritual leader also and ceremonial leader. So, I had that wonderful experience with two wonderful mentors, and I attended powwows and sweat lodges all throughout the Northwest and into Canada. So that was pretty amazing. So I've always had that. I worked at a lot of different jobs. I was in Los Angeles for a long time. I worked for the studios, and that was kind of interesting. Burbank, I was in Disney. I worked for Disney Studios and Warner Brother Records and
that I did not
CBS.
know.
Yeah, I did, and got to meet some really interesting people and celebrities. And
so, what made you decide to write your first book?
Well, I've always wanted to write, but, I found what I wanted to say that most publishers didn't want to publish what I have to say. And it takes so long, and so I published my own. And now I can get it out. Everybody's turning to self-publishing right now, and, you don't have the, what they usually do. A lot of these publishers, they extract and edit so much out of your book that you kind of wonder if it was the same book that you'd written.
Yeah, you have to read it.
With it. Yeah.
You're like, wait a second, before I go promoting it, I should know what's in it, right?
Right, exactly.
Wow.
So, I've always wanted to write, and, I decided to do it. I just started doing it, and amazing things started happening. I ended up with a publicist, and she's gotten me on Coast to Coast 5 times, which I feel very blessed.
I love
wonderful.
that program.
Yeah. And I've been on a lot of other talk shows and TV shows, local TV shows. So, it's been great.
Well, when we come back, we're going to take a break. We're going to be talking about your latest book. I believe it is your latest, right? Your Earth Energy Return to Ancient Wisdom. And this is by Betsy Lewis, everybody. So stay tuned, and we're going to be hearing about her new book.
It's happy hour right now at Java Detour with gourmet coffee at fast food prices, featuring delish drinks like the ice-blended caramel white mocha that has tons of caramel drizzle and topped with a mountain of whipped cream, or the black and white mocha that comes hot, iced, or blended. It has the perfect combination of dark and white chocolate. Oh, so good, and just the pick-me-up you need. Java Detour happy hour, 5 to 7 p.m. Gourmet coffee at fast food prices. See you in a few.
Easy in and out. Highway 20 in Yuba City, 10th Street in Marysville, and 3rd Street in Marysville.
As we join Bob, the Mount Shasta Spring Water Drop, we find him with new recruits.
Bob is cool and Bob is swell. He didn't come out of a well.
So, do you have what it takes to be Mount Shasta Spring Water?
Yes, sir. I'm pure and natural, sir.
And why are you here?
Because I don't want to be filtered, sir.
All right, Drips, or Drops, you've got what it takes, so be pure and make America proud.
Bob is cool and he's on top. He's by far the coolest drop. Yes, sir.
Mount Shasta Spring Water, pure and simple, naturally the best.
And all-American, too.
Have you been looking for authentic Mexican food? Well, you need to try Las Brasas Restaurant, 1529 Colusa Avenue in Yuba City. They're open 7 days a week, Monday through Friday, 10 to 8 p.m., and Saturday and Sunday, 9 to 8 p.m. Las Brasas Restaurant has a banquet room available for special meetings or occasions at no charge with purchase of meals for 8 guests or more. Children under 9 eat free from the children's menu with the purchase of an adult meal on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and seniors 65 years and older, you get 15% off every day of the week. That's Las Brasas Restaurant, authentic Mexican food at 1529 Colusa Avenue in Yuba City. Give them a call at 530-755-9889 or just stop in there and have yourself something great to eat. Or try my favorite, the grilled chicken salad. Grilled chicken strips on green leaf lettuce, red onions, tomatoes with cheese. Las Brasas Restaurant, authentic Mexican food.
Do you have a treasure box of coins, jewelry, silverware? Ever wonder if they have any value? We offer friendly, free, fair appraisals and pay cash on the spot.
Bring them to your local coin shop, Yuba City Coin and Bullion by the 10th Street Bridge. Always buying and selling gold, silver, and platinum jewelry, U.S. and foreign coins, sterling silverware, placer gold.
It's a great time to make some extra cash and invest in bullion, junk silver, gold and silver ingots, eagles and maple leaves. We specialize in all precious metals. And for you coin collectors,
and for those just starting,
we have a wide selection of type coins and currency. We're PCGS and NGC affiliated, so swing by your local coin shop, Yuba City Coin and Bullion.
438 Colusa Highway by the 10th Street Bridge. Friendly service, fair prices. Yuba City Coin and Bullion, 755 Coin.
When the economy crashed in 2008, the Fed lowered interest rates. They've been low ever since. But now the economy's improving, and most experts believe the Fed will start raising interest rates very soon. That means you should refinance your mortgage now to pull cash out of your home at today's low rates, because once the Fed starts raising rates, they probably won't stop. So beat the Fed to the punch and refi your mortgage before it's too late by making the cash call at 855-875-CASH. Today, Cash Call Mortgage is offering a 15-year fixed at 2.875% rate and APR with no closing costs. You have the chance to pull tens of thousands out of your home, lock in a low rate, and pay absolutely nothing out of pocket. But you have to act now. Cash Call Mortgage is designed to save. Call 855-875-CASH today.
Impact Mortgage Corp. DBA Cash Call Mortgage. Equal housing lender. Call 866-900-8744 for terms and restrictions. Rates may change without notice. California Department of Business Oversight. Residential Mortgage Lender Law License 4131083. NMLS 128231.
That's 855-875-CASH.
You're listening to The Patriot, 1410 AM, KMYC, Marysville, Yuba City, Roseville, Sacramento, Oroville, and Chico.
Do you have some old coins lying around and you wonder what they're worth? Or have you been a coin collector for years? WS Coin in Marysville is the only full-service coin shop in the Yuba Sutter area and has been in business since the 1970s. We are here to meet your coin collecting needs with a full line of supplies, books, and price guides. And we pay fair prices for your collectible coins and bullion. Stop in at WS Coin at 417 4th Street in Marysville and check out our inventory or see our collection online at wscoin.com. Bring us your silver dollars, old dimes, and quarters and get cash. We also buy your old gold and silver jewelry, and we pay top prices for scrap gold and silver. What are you waiting for? Come on down to WS Coin in Marysville at 417 4th Street. Open Monday through Friday 10 to 5 and Saturday 10 to 3, or see us online anytime at wscoin.com. Order online, pick it up at our shop, and avoid shipping fees. Located at 417 4th Street in Marysville, we are the Yuba Sutter answer to all your coin and bullion needs.
Hi, everybody. You're listening to The Dirt, and I am really pleased to have my guest here, Betsy Lewis, with us tonight. Thank you so much, Betsy, for being here tonight. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you, Lori. It's great to be back on your show. I love your show.
Thank you, and we love you. Oh, my goodness, and it's so nice to have you here and be chatting with all this stuff. So since the last time you were on the show, you have written a new book. The new book, which I'm looking at, and everybody who's watching the show, Earth Energy, Return to Ancient Wisdom by Betsy Lewis. And now, this book is, I've loved it. It's got great information. I love the at the end of the book where you have some prayers and different things that people can engage in, or different types of meditation. It's really a fun book. So
thank you.
You're welcome. So why don't you just tell me what inspired you to write this book to begin with? I know I've got some questions and different things lined up.
Okay.
But I'm always curious about the inspiration behind something.
Well, as I was telling you, that I've always felt these earth changes were going to come during this time, and we're seeing it now, the mysterious booms and horn-like sounds people are hearing all around the earth, and, the increased earthquakes and volcanoes right now. There's just crazy things going on, but I felt that it's time that we start getting back to earth. We are so disconnected. We are in a disconnected state from nature right now, and we don't realize, so many people don't realize we are connected to everything. We are related to everything, and that's what I want us to get back to, the ancient wisdom, the indigenous wisdom. There's such a great separation sickness that Earth is feeling. Humanity is just forgotten that, everything has a consciousness. Everything is alive. And like my teachers, Corbin, he said that we have to speak to everything because it hears. Mother Earth hears us, and the water hears us, and the plants hear us. They're alive. The trees, and they, the indigenous people have always honored these things. And that's something I feel we have to get back to, but also trusting what Mother Earth is telling us and the warnings, the signs, because before these big earthquakes, there's always things that tell us that there's going to be a huge earthquake. I know that I get very dizzy, or I have dreams of major earthquakes, and that's the electromagnetic energy field of the earth. A lot of people feel that. They get nausea, they get headaches, they get dizzy. And, I think we have to get back to that sixth sense that our ancestors had thousands of years ago.
Yeah. And do you think, the animals display, too, different behaviors, too, when there's going to be an earthquake or a natural disaster?
Oh, yes, they feel it, absolutely. And, they say that so many dogs and cats run away before a major earthquake. If you look into, the classified section of a newspaper and start seeing a lot of animals that have vanished and, people looking for them, that's usually a sign there's going to be a big earthquake. There's also earthquake lights, and, like I said, many people are very intuitive and feel these things coming. And that's something our ancestors learned thousands of years ago, and we have forgotten how to use that. We've gotten so connected to electronics. We depend on everything with electronics, to tell us the weather, the time, and GPS. And our ancestors had to trust their sixth sense, their intuition or psychic, impressions, and that's something we've got to get back to again.
Yeah, I know if there's nothing going on around me for 20 seconds, right into my pocket, pull my phone out, and start messing with my phone.
And what is
you're
that?
bad.
What do you
I'm not
think that
alone
is?
though. It's like everybody.
I know.
You're-
At breaks, I look at my phone too, and
We as a people, we've got no attention span anymore.
I know, you're right, and it's
We really
addictive.
don't.
Yeah, it's addictive.
And I think there's something to be said too, during those moments when nothing is going on, maybe instead of looking outward, we should spend time looking inward. How we're always exploring the outer space, everything.
Right.
Chris, you for one want to astral travel. The only way you're ever going to do that is looking within, quieting down, allowing that space.
Right.
Don't you agree, Betsy?
I agree, absolutely. And, we just have to get back to honoring Mother Earth again. Look what we're doing to her. I cry every time. Like recently Santa Barbara had that great big oil spill, and it was, human caused. And look what it's doing. The whales have been swimming in it, and there's birds dying, and, the Gulf, what we did to that, and then the fracking we're doing, and, the chemtrails, we still don't know what's going on, but I know it's not good stuff. It's toxic stuff that's being sprayed on us.
And we're poisoning ourselves because we go ahead and eat the fish, and we go ahead and drink the water, and the water's coming up on the shores and sinking into our plants. We're poisoning ourselves, really.
We are. And look at Fukushima. We still don't know the extent of what's going on over there. The Japanese are very silent about everything that's going on over there. And yet we hear about the disappearance of sardines in the Pacific. We're seeing starfish that have been melting up and down the west coast of the United States, and all kinds of species that are dying. So it has to be something, I think, maybe the radiation that's going on. And, of course, we're dumping all our garbage in the oceans. We're either sending it up in space. We've got garbage in space, and we've got garbage in the ocean. It's just unconscionable what we're doing.
And all that plastic that we're dumping into the ocean it's breaking down very slowly, and you're seeing fish and birds starting to eat that, which are the kind of at the base of our food chain.
Yeah.
So you're starting to get plastic integrated into our food chain, and eventually that gets back to us.
Yeah, it does.
Right, and plastic's got this kind of weird property that just collects toxins. It's got all these little pockets in it that hold on to all the toxins that it encounters throughout the life of the plastic, and that's now filtering back into our food system.
I just eat plants. I'm a vegetarian. I am, and I read too in your book, when you were saying that people should start the cattle. Okay, tell everybody about that a little bit instead of me recapping. You wrote it, so you know about it. But what you were saying, it did make sense. But like you were saying, except for vegetarians, because it is hard for me.
Well, right now the way we treat our animals that we eat is just horrendous. We treat them so poorly, and they are sentient beings. They think they have feelings. I believe animals have souls, but yet here we are, the animals are herded in and slaughtered, and they have that fear hormone that's in them, and we get that fear hormone, and we're eating it, and it just goes through the earth, too, what we're eating and how we take care of ourselves. We're not honoring ourselves. We're not eating properly, and most of us are hugely overweight now. Because of the foods we're eating. We're not eating natural foods anymore. We might as well be eating cardboard because there are no megahertz to the things, no vibrational quality to any of these things that we're eating. It's just crazy. So we are lowering our vibrations by eating a lot of these foods that have nothing in it.
I agree with you. And not only that, but so many of the farmers and ranchers, and so many are not. There are so many that are good, like free-range chickens and free-range, you know what I mean, where they're organic and they're not being fed hormones and everything else. But just everything that's being fed to mass produce. Okay, how about this? Let's not mass produce our food. Let's have quality food. I mean, what if you ate half as much, but it was twice as good for you?
Well, most of us can't afford to buy high quality food.
You got me there, but what
if you
were eating less of it, and let's say you were eating 2 quality eggs instead of the 4? So maybe you spend twice as much.
2 eggs may not be enough to feed your family.
Oh, what I'm saying is if you literally can conserve or cut back, knowing that you're getting something that has more nutrition in it, and ultimately you're going to feel healthier.
Well, I don't think it's a matter of the eggs having more nutrition. It's just they don't have the bad stuff in them.
Yeah.
So you still need 4 eggs.
Okay.
But the ones that don't have the bad stuff in them cost twice as much money.
I think they shouldn't be allowed to put the bad stuff in any.
Well, the thing is, we can stop these manufacturers from doing that. Just don't buy their products that have soy, the GMO soy in it. There's oil in that, or the corn syrup that's in everything. There's just so much garbage in our food.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. My goodness. So, that to me, the earth energy thing, that for me, it really speaks to me just because, if I think about, the idea of the way I would really love to seriously be on a regular basis, but time starts shuffling us through our day. We make decisions that are not good for us, whether it's going through a drive-through to eat something not so right, or and then obtaining that garbage that comes along with it, that we're going to flood our our dumpsters in the sky and the ocean, like you were saying. The idea that I would love to grasp is even if I had my own little tiny garden of the things that I go and I break off some lettuce and I have this and I have that and I thank God for it, and I eat something that hasn't been poisoned with some sort of miracle grower. Okay, I shouldn't have said that. But whatever it is, whatever thing, and I'm not saying whatever, I should have taken that back. But either way,
no, you shouldn't.
Whatever it is, it's no hormones, no anything, just the sun, water, just, growing that plant and thanking God for it. Literally eating what you need, not more than you need, not just out of want, but out of thankfulness, just being gracious about everything. Yeah.
Yes.
Grateful and gracious. Yeah.
It's so important. And, I think about the pesticides we're using and the weed killers, that goes into the earth. It is. We're dumping everything into the earth, and the earth gives it back to us. She wants to survive. She's not angry with us, but, when we get a cold, our own body fights an infection, right?
Yes.
So Mother Earth is a sentient being. She wants to survive, and so she throws things back at us. And look at the cancers today. When I grew up during the 50s and 60s, I don't remember any school children having cancer. And look at the children with cancer. I just cry when I see these children with all kinds of cancers. And it's from our whole environment is just crazy.
Just think if it's killing bugs and it's killing this and killing that, why would it be safe for us to have over our grass and let our children play on it?
Well, Monsanto says it's perfectly safe.
Oh yeah, of course. They should have Aaron Brockovich give them a glass of it and see if they drink it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
That's where that's what it boils down to. It's whatever products we're using, could we drink it? Could we consume it? We have to look at it like that. I guess that would be a good rule of thumb.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I want to drink a glass of any kind of pesticide, organic or not.
That's what I'm saying. So maybe we shouldn't use it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's my point. Yeah. So now, when we were, I was wanting to ask you about the Australian Aboriginals.
Yes. Well, they believe that, they have this legend that it's a beautiful legend that they came from a star system that was dying. Their grid system was not protected. So they came here thousands, maybe, a million years ago as projections, energy projections, and they saw that the Earth didn't have a protective barrier around it, an energy grid, and so they created this grid. And they say what's happening now is because we're taking out the uranium, we're taking out the gold, we're taking out all the minerals, the oil, the fracking that we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
We're just taking the lifeblood out of Mother, and that's what holds the energy grid around the Earth together. So
sense.
We are actually destroying, everything about our planet. It's insanity, and I think that's why we're getting those Earth changes now. I think our Earth is wobbling in space right now. I think the mysterious sounds are deep within the Earth, and I notice that when people start hearing these mysterious sounds, that there's always a major earthquake. So I'm watching these signs. I'm learning too, and I want people to learn because I think they're going to accelerate. I think there's going to be bigger earthquakes, and that's what the native people are saying, the indigenous people around the world, the Hopi, the Maya. Even my teachers have said that we are going to go from the fourth world into the fifth world right now.
And what does that mean exactly?
Well, there's just going to be a transition, that our Earth is going to change. She's evolving, too, just like we are. And she is going to cleanse herself. I believe that. She wants to survive. And I think this is cyclic. I think that the Earth has gone through many changes and many huge Earth changes, through the thousands of years. I mean, that's evident. And I think it's going to happen again. I really do. I feel that.
Well, now, I know we're kind of skipping around, but I just want to cover a few aspects of this book, and then I also want to, cover a few other things about aliens and different things too.
Okay.
Just because,
Great.
I only get you every once in a while, so I'm like all over the board. But
That's okay.
yeah, and so basically one thing that's always been curious to me ever since I was a little kid is just like the Devil's Triangle.
Oh, yes.
Okay,
Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah, or Bermuda, but they call it the Devil's Triangle. So it's like, the places where like ships and different things disappear, airplanes and everything else. And you did brush on this in the book. And what do you think that is?
Well, I think there are portals throughout the world. There's been people that have just disappeared walking down the road and never seen again, or on a mountain somewhere and they've just vanished. Planes, ships. There's logical explanations for it. There are theories that there's methane pockets in the ocean in the Bermuda Triangle area, and the buoyancy, if a ship is there, they are sucked right down into it. There's a lot of anomalies in the Bermuda Triangle. Pilots have said that their compasses go crazy. So I think there are portals, and I think they're everywhere around the world. Supposedly, there is Mount Shasta. Supposedly, Sedona, Arizona, has an energy vortex. Easter Island. There's just a lot of places all around the world. There's also another Bermuda type triangle in Japan, where ships have vanished. So, maybe that's how the aliens come through. Maybe it's like a wormhole. You're transported into another dimension, another time frame. People have claimed that they have walked down a road somewhere, and all of a sudden they are transported into the 1800s or another time, and it's like they're there. It's real, and then they're back in the current time again. So I've always believed in time travel and dimensions, and I think there's so much to our world we just don't understand.
I know, and it's kind of freaky to think that somebody would disappear and actually they're here somewhere. Maybe they can see us, like that new movie that came out with Matthew McConaughey in it. Where,
right.
What is it called? Starts with an I. I always remember.
Interstellar.
Yeah, Interstellar.
Yes.
Okay, so that concept to me of him being what was haunting his daughter, because he comes
Spoiler
back.
alert.
Okay, sorry, but I'm just saying, if you haven't seen it already, it's out to video, but DVD. To me, that's an interesting concept, to think that possibly ghosts aren't necessarily ghosts. They could be us from the future or from the past or something like that. And I wouldn't think that's necessarily the case in all cases, but It could be.
Maybe they think we're the ghosts.
Oh my goodness, totally like The Others. Remember that movie? Did you guys all see that?
Yes.
What is wrong with Chris? It's
Right.
a paranormal movie, and here he is. He hasn't seen The Others.
I'm not a big movie guy.
And you're not a whole bunch of different kinds of guys, you were saying.
I guess so, yeah.
I love The Others, though. If you decide to tap into a movie, try The Others. Don't you think that's a clever concept for a movie?
I do. Yeah, I do. Yeah, there's some great movies out there, really.
And I think
about
a lot
time and.
Yeah, and a lot of the movies I think kind of touch base on what some of the mysteries are that I think that we're dealing with. I don't think Hollywood just comes up with some random things that, wow, I never thought of that. I mean, I really think that a lot of the movies are out there to mentally prepare us for what they know to be, or things that we're dealing with and people are just like searching for possible answers on it, you know?
Right.
So the other thing I was going to ask you about now, you were talking about Edgar Cayce. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, Edgar Cayce was amazing. He was called the Sleeping Prophet, and he gave thousands of readings on, you know, he diagnosed people from a distance. He would go into a deep trance, and he healed thousands of people during his time. I think he died in 1945. But he also talked about Atlantis, about Mu. That was another continent that existed. He talked about Egypt and the Great Pyramids. But Atlantis, he said that so many of us are from Atlantis. And during the Atlantean times, there was a great and mighty crystal that they created, and that sunk, I guess, when the whole continent started breaking up. And he said that that's what goes on in the Bermuda Triangle. A lot of times this great crystal, which was a power source, it powered flying machines and submarine type craft and just amazing things, but it gets activated every so often, and that's what causes the anomalies in the Bermuda Triangle. So that's a great thing, theory anyway. Who knows? But he said that most of us are Atlanteans, and of course during that time there was a struggle like we're having now. There are those that care about the earth, that want to help the earth, and then there's those that want to war, destroy the earth, and there was that great conflict between the two sides, and that's what we have today. That's the same thing is going on throughout the world. We haven't learned our lesson yet.
I know, and I always find it to be completely interesting how the ocean seems to be our big unknown, and you find out about all these tunnels underneath the earth, and before, like, people were just like, it's just lava and everything else. Well, I mean, I've toured some of the caverns and caves and some of the tunnels and everything else. I mean, the world and the creatures and the things that could exist or be within our world. Like, a lot of people think aliens are only coming to us from outer space. I would say that there's a possibility that they've just been here. They're just another species that can live in a different way. Did we have a caller of any type? Okay. So we are going to actually go to a break. But when we come back, we're going to get back to chatting about some of the. I would like to get into like the aliens, your experiences with the aliens. So and it's going to be at least a 6-minute break. So go get a drink, relax for a few minutes. When we come back, everybody stay tuned for Betsy J. Lewis and the Dirt.
Marysville, Yuba City area, the Comfort Suites in Marysville is the ideal lodging choice. They offer spacious, tastefully furnished suites with all the amenities you'd expect. Each suite features a microwave and refrigerator, in-room coffee, iron and ironing board, satellite TV with 4 HBO channels, and high-speed wireless internet. As a guest, you'll start each day with a complimentary deluxe hot breakfast bar, and after a day of activity, enjoy a dip in their indoor heated pool. The Comfort Suites is within minutes of many fine eating establishments, shopping, and area attractions, as well as just minutes from Beale Air Force Base. And if you have family coming into town for the holidays and don't have room, they'll feel right at home in the Comfort Suites. The friendly professional staff will take great care of them for you. For reservations and information, call 530-742-9200. The Comfort Suites, located at 1034 North Beale in Marysville. For rates and reservation information, call 742-9200, 742-9200.
No college degree and mid-career? Make the choice that can make a difference this year with an ITT Technical Institute near you. At ITT Tech, we offer programs of study in fields including information technology, electronics technology, drafting and design, business, criminal justice, nursing, and the growing field of health sciences. And now, ITT Tech is helping reduce the cost of education with a new ITT Tech Opportunity Scholarship. The scholarship can help lower your education costs dramatically. We've always believed pursuing an education is a sound investment. And now, with the ITT Tech Scholarship, education could be in your future. To find out more about the Opportunity Scholarship at ITT Tech for yourself, just call 800-658-8230. That's 800-658-8230 with the ITT Tech Opportunity Scholarship. Now, it's your turn. 800-658-8230. How are we doing? For more information about graduation rates, the median data of students who completed the program, please visit programinfo.itt-tech.edu.
If you don't like spending an hour on the treadmill every time you enjoy your favorite frap or smoothie, I've got great news for you. This is Rhonda from Free Time Java inside Lakeview Energy Centers in Marysville and now in Yuba City. I want you to enjoy every sip of your favorite Free Time Java drink without any guilt. So, we've brought in delicious, healthy alternatives called Fit, and we are giving $1 off any 16-ounce Fit Frap or Fit Smoothie. These are full-flavored, healthy alternatives. The Fit Fraps are chocolate and vanilla, and they can be used in your favorite drink, and you can add a fruit infusion. It has 21 grams of protein and less than 1 gram of sugar. The Fit Smoothies have less sugar and carbs and all the flavor. Don't rack up extra miles on the treadmill. Come in and enjoy yourself with no guilt. The daily special of $1 off any 16-ounce Fit Frap or Fit Smoothie is available from both Free Time Java locations on 12th and B Street in Marysville and Colusa Highway next to U-Haul in Yuba City.
Solar Energy for Life.com.
In case you were wondering what the difference is between SunPower by Alternative Energy Systems and those big box outfits, we've narrowed it down to one really important factor: trust. So we've asked some of our clients to share their personal experience with you.
People ask me all the time, who put the solar on my house? I proudly tell them,
SunPower by AES. They're experts at design, installation,
and they know all the programs and incentives. My consultant worked with me on options like leases, loans,
and purchasing my system. From project management to installation,
AES was thorough, genuine,
and dependable. The team at AES really are solar experts. That's why when people ask, I tell them.
I
trust SunPower by Alternative Energy Systems.
Solar Energy for Life.com.
Whether it's weekend camping at your favorite site or touring the country to visit the wonders of the United States, All Seasons RV Center has the RV for you. All Seasons RV Center has a full range of travel trailers, fifth wheels, toy haulers, and tent trailers to suit your every need. No one in Northern California offers a more complete selection than All Seasons RV Center, and nobody beats All Seasons RV Center's prices. All Seasons RV Center has one of the largest parts and accessories departments in Northern California, and our RVIA and RVDA certified technicians are experts on plumbing, electrical, bodywork, awnings, appliances, air conditioning, heating, and hitches to service your every RV need. All Seasons RV Center is located in 2 convenient locations to serve you. Parts and service at 3300 Colusa Highway off the George Washington exit, and sales on the corner of Highways 99 and 20 in Yuba City. Or you can visit us on the web at allseasonsrvcenter.com.
You've heard the phrase, never trust a truck to do a Silverado's job. Well, at Sankey Motors in Colusa, they say, never trust an ordinary dealer to get you the best deal on the best car. Sankey Automobile Company has brand new vehicles, used vehicles, financing, support, and the new Chevy Silverado. You want to learn more about Sankey Automobile Company? Go to sankeyauto.com, SANKEYAUTO.com. You'll get to see their entire inventory, even shop for financing online on your smartphone or computer. It's really easy, so why wait? Why not learn more about the best darn dealership in Colusa County? Sankey Automobile Company, Colusa County's Buick, General Motors, and Chevrolet dealer at 315 Market Street in Colusa. Se habla español. Sankey Automobile Company. And don't forget to browse the easy, convenient way by going to their website, sankeyauto.com. This is The Patriot. 1410 AM, KMYC Marysville, serving Marysville and Yuba City for more than 50 years.
Fox News Radio, I'm Joe Chiro. Some wild weather tonight across central regions of the nation.
They have set records in Texas and Oklahoma, and we're about to see more rain in the forecast over the next couple of days, and the potential for severe weather. Tornado watches in effect through the evening tonight for Oklahoma into Texas as well as Colorado. Now, our setup is prime for more wet weather across areas that don't need to see it.
Fox meteorologist Janice Dean. Tornadoes spotted or confirmed tonight in central Oklahoma. No reports of damage or injuries. There was no automatic shutoff valve on the pipeline that leaked thousands of gallons of oil into the Pacific Ocean Tuesday. Pipeline operator Plains All American says having operators remotely shut down the line was safer than having a computer do it.
All aspects of the pipeline's condition and its operations at the time of the release are fully under review and will be subject to the investigation into the cause of the release. The investigation will be conducted in line with federal guidelines and in conjunction with federal investigators.
Senior Director of Safety Patrick Hodgins. The spill covered fish, birds, and other wildlife and sparked protests by environmental groups. Outrage in Cleveland over the acquittal of police officer Michael Brillo. The 31-year-old was charged in the shooting deaths of an unarmed African-American couple that led police in a high-speed chase before police opened fire. Prosecutor Timothy McGinty calling for calm and saying his office did everything it could to bring back a guilty verdict.
This was a challenging case, no doubt, but I would not hesitate to do it again if the facts and the law demand it. I was proud of our effort to seek justice in this case, and we will continue to seek justice on behalf of the people.
The Justice Department plans to review the case to determine if the couple's rights were violated. You're listening to Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
Weekdays on Fox Business.
Bottom line here is we want investors to be prepared for the day ahead, the week ahead.
Opening Bell with Maria Bartiromo.
The concept is to bring perspective, analysis. All day long, I'm speaking with global allocators of capital, CEOs, heads of state, so I can anticipate some of the major moves or reactions, giving investors an edge.
Opening Bell with Maria Bartiromo. Weekdays at 9 a.m. Eastern on Fox Business.
Weeknights, Kelly brings the heat.
Developing tonight, a Kelly File exclusive. This is breaking news. We're just getting this.
Inside today's most explosive stories.
That's not the way it was supposed to go down.
Getting answers and challenging the status quo.
Sir, it's a back and forth. I'm not just going to give you the platform for a soliloquy. Don't come on here and spit. I will leave that to you to decide.
Powerful, insightful, fair, and balanced. Megyn Kelly taking prime time to the next degree.
Join me for the Kelly File, weeknights at 9.
Irish voters choose to legalize same-sex marriage.
Ireland's Prime Minister saying the country has shown pioneering leadership to the world.
That yes is heard loudly across the living world as a sound of pioneering leadership from our people.
Taoiseach Enda Kenny speaking as Ireland becomes the world's first country to legalise same-sex marriage in a referendum. In the end, it was a decisive verdict, 62% voting yes. It's another big social change for a country which only decriminalised homosexuality in 1993. Simon Owen, Fox News Radio.
An oil platform fire off of Louisiana's coast that threatened the Breton National Wildlife Refuge has been put out.
The fire was on a platform near environmentally delicate barrier islands off the state's southeast coast. An offshore supply vessel evacuated 28 workers, but no injuries were reported. The Coast Guard says a light sheen of oil near the site seemed to be dissipating and moving away from the wildlife refuge. There were no reports of oil reaching shore or harming wildlife. Crews continue cleanup and repair work. Texas Petroleum Investment, the owner of the platform, says it believes a compressor on the platform caught fire. The cause still under investigation. Pat O'Neill, Fox News Radio.
This Memorial Day, an attraction of the World War II Memorial in Washington, honors those who gave their lives for their country and those who lost their lives on 9/11.
70 years after the conclusion of World War II, thousands gather on Washington's National Mall at the memorial commemorating that war. Visitors are ringing the Freedom Bell, a Turing monument constructed partially of World Trade Center steel.
We take the bell and travel all across the U.S. and set up at events like this
and ask people to ring the bell in honor of past, present, or future service members.
Organizers say more than 1.5 million have rung this bell. In Washington, Rich Edson, Fox News Radio.
I'm Joe Chiaro, Fox News Radio.
Shiloh Inn's Affordable Excellence. Welcome to Shiloh Inn's 4-star accommodations at 2-star affordable prices. I'm Mark Hemstreet, owner of Shiloh Inns. I personally invite you to enjoy Shiloh Inn's deluxe smoke-free suites, then relax and enjoy our spacious pools and spas with steam and sauna rooms and fully equipped fitness centers. And Shiloh's 4-star treatment is even more affordable with more free amenities than most other hotel chains, like free high-speed internet to a free continental delicious breakfast or full hot breakfast at most Shiloh Inns. Even the kids stay free. And smoke-free Shiloh Inns are all dog-friendly. That's what we mean by 4-star accommodations at 2-star affordable prices. For reservations, call 1-800-222-2244 or visit our website at shilohinns.com. Shiloh Inns, affordable excellence. American family-owned and proud of it.
You are tuned to the dirt.
The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found.
That's affirmative. He has evidence proving Bigfoot.
The search for the flying saucers.
You are about to explore another world, another universe with the likes of ghosts, Bigfoot, and UFO.
I woke up in the middle of the night. I don't know what it was.
He is overshadowed by the energy from the world teacher, and the world teacher uses him and gives a blessing.
And all of a sudden, I realized that the banging is coming from my kitchen. Instantly, I froze. I was so scared.
They said they heard like a disembodied scream, like a bloody scream, like something bad was happening.
And now, here comes your diva of the dark, Lori Schultz.
Hi, everybody. You're listening to The Dirt. I just want to thank you all very much for going to the second half of the show that we have going with Betsy J. Lewis, the author of this most recent book, Earth Energy, Return to Ancient Wisdom. She's an amazing medium, Earth Energy. Like, she's very into everything that's going on intuitive. You've had a lot of experiences, Betsy, with whether it's spirits, energy, aliens, oh my goodness, crop circles, just everything. I think you're just one of the most interesting people that I've had on the show. And so I just want to welcome you back, and I hope you had a nice little break there.
Oh, thank you. That's so sweet of you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, not everybody has had experiences like this. I would say there are a lot of people who, what I would say, maybe they've had a little bit here and there, but I would say a lot of people just kind of go through the wake up, go to work, do this, and maybe not experience something life-changing for a while or yet, or,
Right. That's true.
So, yeah, I did want to ask you, though, before we stop talking about your book, you said that in your book, basically, you provide different ways that each person can make changes with the earth. And what are some of the suggestions that you have? Because I do want to somehow allow you to close up on the subject of this book and like some of the points maybe that you really would like people to hear, so, to get them interested in reading this.
Well, like the Dalai Lama says, if you think you're too small to make a difference, try sleeping with a mosquito. We can all do our part, and it's just amazing what we can do. We can honor ourselves, and I think that's really important. Ed McGaugh and I wrote some different things, but bring back the natural harmony that humans once enjoyed. Honor your body, your living temple, with natural food, sleep, and exercise. Love and forgive all. Rid yourself of prejudice. Practice real truth each day. Gratitude, appreciate your life, the planet, and blessings that come into your life. Practice ceremony, and you don't have to do it the indigenous way. Do it your own way. Go out there, hug a tree, talk to the trees, the animals, the flowers. They do hear you. Give thanks to everything. Remove your shoes and just, feel the earth. Listen to the frogs and the crickets toning and anchoring Earth's grid. That's why the animals are here. They have a reason to be here. Find moving water and feel the negative ions. and the elemental spirits. We forget that that trees are amazing. They give off 260 pounds of oxygen per year. That's one tree, and they take in all the bad stuff, the pollutants in our atmosphere. So they're just amazing beings. They can't walk and they can't talk like we do, but they certainly are alive and have a consciousness.
Yeah, definitely. And what do you foresee for our planet and humanity?
Well, that's up to us. I've had people ask me, well, aren't aliens going to come and save us? And the thing is, I think we've got some that are guiding us out there, but we made our own mess. We've created this problem with our Earth. We've polluted it, and it's us that are going to we're going to have to come together, work together, and start healing our planet and thinking of things. And, I'm so grateful that these amazing new children are coming into the Earth right now. They're being born, and they're so advanced. They have a higher vibrational rate. They've been called the indigo, the crystal, the rainbow children, star children. But they are coming in, and they have amazing ideas for the planet. They are just geniuses in math, in art, in music, and they see spirits. They remember past lives. I mean, they are old souls that are coming back to help the Earth. So I hope that we listen to a lot of these children coming in. But, I think we all have to work together. And right now we're so separated with our beliefs and everything. I think we just have to come together to heal Mother Earth. And that's how we're going to do it, by prayer, by meditation, by just doing the right thing, recycling. I tell how we can recycle and using the right products. And they don't have to be expensive things. Just look to see if they are environmentally friendly.
Or multi-use. I mean,
Yeah.
you get yourself some raw coconut oil. I mean, you can use it for a moisturizer. You can use it to cook with, so you're not, eating all the saturated fats. It's just, there's so many different ways that you can actually conserve. And I think a lot of, we were going through, and I talked about this on my real estate show actually too, just for a while, people were just wanting bigger homes, more this, more that, the bigger vehicles. Now everybody's kind of going down to, hey, let's save on gas. Let's have a smaller car. I mean, of course, we've got the bigger trucks and things where you need them, the necessity behind work vehicles or whatever. But I think conservation and not letting that water run really hard when you're taking a shower and different things. It's like literally thinking about every single thing you're doing, and would you waste it if this was the last bucket of water you had? What would you do with it? Kind of treating it like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And someday I think we're going to have round houses, because what's amazing is they have found that round houses resist, hurricanes and things like that. It's amazing. And the Indians, they had their teepees, birds build round nests. We have to take things into consideration, what nature shows us, and here we are with our little square houses and our square buildings. And
oh my goodness, and so much stuff. Like, we have so much stuff. I mean, I actually don't have as many knickknacks and things like that anymore. But, I mean, a lot of people just fill it and fill it and fill it. It would be really interesting if every single person kind of kept it down to, you have your keepsakes and everything else, but could you grab everything that really mattered to you in, 5 minutes, pack up and go like the Indians used to? Could you move? Could you follow the buffalo? Could you live off the land? Would you know what is good for your body and what isn't? I mean, really, it's kind of like come down to the basics. It's like creating garbage and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it has to stop. We can all see the repercussions of everything that we're doing.
Look at the landfills. I mean, we just can't keep doing this and just filling up our land with garbage. We just can't do it. And the thing is, we think we have to have all this stuff, like you said, all these material things, and it's crazy because we get it, it breaks, it's plastic, we throw it into the garbage, into the landfills, and, it takes plastic, Chris is talking about it, plastic doesn't dissolve or go away. It takes, hundreds of years for it to actually break down. And it is breaking down in the ocean, little pieces of it that the animals, the sea creatures eat. But, like radiation, it may not ever go away. It's here.
I'm just always confused how we can create something out of earthly things that's bad for Earth.
I know. And, there's so many natural ways that we could, start using the wind energy, the solar energy. There's so many natural things that we could use. We could stop taking all the oil out of the earth, which, the fracking is probably causing a lot of these big earthquakes around the world, especially with what's going on in Oklahoma and Kansas lately, and even Texas.
Yeah, definitely. So I wanted to kind of close out on that. So do you want to let people know where they can find that book?
Sure. It's on Amazon. It's in Kindle ebook and also softcover book. And they can go to my website, BetsyLewis.com, and read a little bit more about my other books. And Betsy's spelled a little bit different. It's Betsey, and Lewis is LEWIS.com. And I have an Earth News One blog, which I put up every day, what's going on with the Earth. If I feel any earthquakes coming, feel dizzy, I just cover everything, volcanoes that are going off, any solar events.
And I wanted to talk about some of these things that were, aside from the book. One thing I found super interesting is your uncle, who wasn't he the author of The Exorcist?
Yes,
Tell us about this, because, to me, that's so interesting. I mean, look you've got authors running through the streams of your blood right now.
Yes, it was interesting. During the 70s, my mother went on a date. It was a blind date through a dating service in Beverly Hills, and she met a man named Maurice Blatty, and on their first date, he threw a book at her and said, "Read this. My brother wrote it," and it was The Exorcist.
Isn't that incredible?
I know.
Then, didn't he have some recordings that were from the show, like EVPs and everything?
Yeah, he did. He's had a lot of supernatural things happen when they were filming The Exorcist, but also he started using reel-to-reel tapes, and he would get electronic voice phenomena that he picked up. Like, he'd ask a question, does God exist? And when he played it at a high speed, he would wait a few minutes, and then he'd hear the word like Lacey or Hope It. And then he did some other experiments. He says that he heard, "I know what you were thinking. There's no space here. Pray for them, Bill. Make them pray, Bill."
Wow.
So there were some really weird things. He claimed that some phones were flying off the hook after his mother passed away, and just really bizarre things. And he's got a new book out called Finding Peter, which has a little bit about his son who died suddenly at the age of 19, and how the lights have gone out in his house and on a chandelier, and how it goes up and down and gets darker and lighter. And you have to actually do that, with your hand to make it go up and dim.
It's so true. You do.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really interesting. So I was just wondering now, in one of your other books, it was Aliens, I forget.
Angels, Aliens, and Prophecy.
Yes, I love that book. I read that. It was a couple years ago, I think, when that came out. So it's been a while. But you were talking about the Zetas there. And I was just wondering if you could kind of recap on your experience with the Zetas. Because, I found that to be super interesting. And I think the listeners would love to hear it.
On the Zetas?
Zetas. Okay, I said it wrong.
No, okay.
When I'm reading it, I'm all, that's
okay.
Okay.
Well, there's a lot of different, they're the gray aliens, supposedly, and they're supposed to be different types. There's taller ones, there's the smaller ones, some are more robotic, but there's just a lot of stories. One of the most famous is Betty and Barney Hill in 1961, that they were abducted on a lonely highway in New Hampshire. And, the strange thing is that Betty was shown a star map at the time, and what's so amazing about her story is this certain star map showed Zeta, the constellation where these aliens are from, and nobody knew about it back then, and she had mapped it precisely.
That is
so how she knew about that was amazing. And they had a lot of physical different things that appeared. Barney had scuff marks on the tops of his shoes, like he was dragged. He said he was dragged to the spaceship. So how he got those scuff marks, there's no other explanation except he was dragged. And they had different markings on their body. They were experimented on. And, there have been a lot of just amazing abductions. Betty, Andreas, and Luca is one. She and her husband and her whole family have been abducted through the years. And there's been the Greys, the little Greys that abducted them, but there were also the ones called the Elders. And they have gray hair. They all look alike. They wear robes, and they do strange things. They have these ceremonies that they performed, and some of the amazing things that she talked about. And I almost felt that in some instances that the aliens were downloading her memories, like the Yellow Brick Road. She actually went down this road with these special slippers on.
Really?
And I thought, maybe they did download the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, that's so interesting because I always wonder, like, okay, for instance, like the one gentleman who said he was dragged into the spaceship, and then other people are like, they show up in their rooms, and next thing they know, they're in the spaceship. It's like, how come some have different experiences where they're inexplicably, like, randomly just right into the spaceship? It's almost like, beam me up, Scotty. And then, then other people, or they're just examined right in their room or their bed where they sleep. And then you've got these experiences where somebody's physically being, dragged. I think that would be so traumatic. It's like, what are some just more aggressive, or some, I guess it's like the same way maybe with some people treat animals here, like us as people. Like some people have a very gentle nature, maybe some just don't. I'm sure they have different personalities.
I agree. Yeah, I think you're right. I think there are those that are observing us. They see us more as animals. There are some that want to help us. There's so many stories, and I've interviewed a couple of people that have interviewed Native Americans. They seem to have contact with the sky people all the time, which is so amazing. There's so many stories that UFOs have landed on the reservation, and just incredible things that have happened out there. So I think they seem to be more in contact with the aliens than we are. Or maybe it's just that we're so frightened, and the people that do have any kind of interaction with them are, their memories are erased.
Yeah.
I think that happens in many cases.
So what about the cattle mutilations? I mean, what do you think? Everybody thinks aliens are doing it, obviously. But
yeah, right.
For what reason do you think that they would need to do that and just leave the cattle there? Why wouldn't they just disappear like people do?
Well, a lot of it was happening during the 70s. And what's really interesting, I was working with another investigator in Texas named Tom Adams. And he was telling me that a lot of these cattle were marked with infrared. So somebody at night could spot them and pick them up, by helicopter, and transport them somewhere and do their experiments, and then bring them back and dump them. So there's no blood around the animal. They were always bloodless, and there's no indication of any kind of tracks around the carcass or anything, which is interesting. So that's, they were somehow lifted somewhere. And what's really interesting, so many of these cattle mutilations took place around military bases.
That is interesting.
Yeah, isn't it? And unmarked helicopters, always seen. Black unmarked helicopters were involved.
So do you think it's possibly not aliens and it's government? Or what are you thinking?
Well, I think both. I think that aliens have been involved with military. Probably one of the strangest cases that Tom Adams told me about took place in Brazil in October of 1970, where there was this calf. It's really bizarre, but anyway, this man and his 23-year-old son had a farm, and they heard that their red Jersey cows started really making a fuss, and one of the smaller calves only weighed about 60 pounds. It was left to roam in the corral, and pretty soon the other cows were just really upset. I mean, they were just bellowing and like something was terribly wrong, and then they noticed that the calf started bawling, and all of a sudden it started moving on the ground. It was suspended 3 feet off the ground. Wow. And in its normal position and moving along. I mean, they didn't see anything, above it or anything. Mm-hmm. And they were just stunned. They were so scared. They thought, what in the world,
Yeah.
And it kept moving, and the other cows are going crazy, and the mother is going crazy. And it moved 60 feet, and then it began to rise vertically, so slow it took 3 to 4 minutes before it vanished so high in the sky. It just vanished.
That is so amazing. And
yeah.
I mean, are any of these like cattle mutilations and different experiences like this, have any of them been like, well, I mean, you see pictures of it, but I mean, do a lot of people document anything? Like, has there been any like proof of what was taking the animals at all, besides just speculation?
No.
Nothing.
No, just a lot of theories. Of course,
yeah.
They had people, the military. There was the government that had people out there looking at it, and they said it was just the work of predators. But how does a predator remove something that looks like a perfect laser?
Yeah,
cut
no.
it out. The
and
parts.
no blood. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
anytime
no blood,
a predator
right.
like attacks another animal, it's like it looks very bloody. It's sad. Yeah.
That was a strange part. And these animals, predators usually wouldn't go near these animals after they're dead. There's something on them or in them.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, normally you would see like vultures or something going after the animals. So that brings me to like the crop circles. I know you've gone out to quite a few. You've collected, the different, like you've gone right after a crop circle's been spotted, and do you want to tell everybody about that?
Well, actually, I haven't. I've talked to people that have.
I
haven't been over to England, and I'd love to, but I have done a lot of research on it, and I've had a lot of guests that have, been there.
Okay, maybe
that
that's
have talked about it. No, that's okay. I've done a lot, but not that. No, I'd love to, and it's still going on. The thing with the crop circles, of course, that there was, I think it was during the 80s that they said 2 older men were out there stomping around in the grain fields making all these circles. I thought, no. Maybe in some instances it was hoax. But these have become so intricate, and I think that whatever intelligence is behind it, they've seen these orbs hovering over the crop circles. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of geomagnetic, they've picked up different things on their different instruments that show that there's some kind of energy there that has created it. And the thing is, the stalks, whether it's wheat or whatever it is in the field, it's not broken. It's just kind of bent down in kind of a strange way. So if somebody was out there stomping on it, they would probably be broken.
I would think so, too. I mean, just to bend it. I mean, everybody's dealt with, like, corn and straw and everything else. I mean, it's really hard to bend that and not crack it or cause it to break all over the place. We're actually going to go to a break, and then when we come back, we're going to close out with Betsy. So everybody stay tuned for The Dirt, and Betsy will be right back.
People are the next place to find opportunity for your business. At the risk of overstating things, people and the solutions you put in place to make the most of them will set the course for the future of your organization. How dynamically it shoots to the stratosphere of your industry. How the magic of profits and bottom lines come together in a fruitful bounty. I get so fired up. But people really do present a big opportunity, especially in information technology. And Ronstadt Technologies can help you make the most of this opportunity. Randstad is the second largest IT services organization in the country. Since 1984, our experts have combined deep technology experience with deep understanding of your needs to find the optimal match to drive results. And our knowledge can help you truly leverage your workforce into a competitive edge that dramatically accelerates your company to whole new levels of greatness heretofore unimagined. There I go again. Randstad Technologies. See how our experts can power your business. Visit randstadtechnologies.com today.
If you call each trip in your car risky business, then we invite you to come in and see the great value in pre-owned vehicles on our lot with prices as low as $39.95. This is Murray Lewis, co-owner of Dow Lewis Motors. We have two important advantages. You don't pay auto mall fees when you purchase a certified pre-owned car from Dow Lewis Motors, and each certified pre-owned car comes with a lifetime powertrain warranty. Right now we have great quality, low-priced pre-owned cars on our lot. Come see the 2004 Nissan Frontier for just $11,995, the 2010 Chevrolet Cobalt for $99.70, and check out these lease prices on the 2015 GMC Terrain at just $299 a month and the 2015 Buick Regal at just $369 a month. Dow Lewis Motors is your used car superstore. America's journey started with George Washington. Your certified pre-owned car buying journey should start at George Washington Boulevard and Highway 20. That's where you'll find Dow Lewis Motors. All prices subject to prior sale.
When your taste buds say Mexican food, Casa Lupe Market and Restaurant and Grilly is the answer. Located at 130 Regolia Street and Highway 99 in Grilly, at Casa Lupe Market you will find a complete grocery store with an old-fashioned meat counter with your favorite meat cuts. While at the store, you can stop by the kitchen and order some tacos, burritos, or other specialties. And don't forget to visit Casa Lupe Restaurant, which opens every day. Casa Lupe Market and Restaurant in Grilly, a family tradition.
Times sure have changed since Geico started saving people money over 75 years ago. We didn't have video games like today, but that's not to say we didn't have fun. One of my favorite games was Don't Get Kicked by the Goat. Now that's some real excitement, especially when someone lost. Yep, back then we knew two things: how to have a good time, and that Geico was always a good deal.
Geico, saving people money on car insurance for over 75 years.
Every business trip starts with a choice: stay or go. You can press send or press palms, start a chat room or chat in an actual room. Just remember, this country wasn't built by folks waiting for opportunities to come to them. They went to their people and things got done. And if you're one of those business people, there's a range of choice hotels like Comfort Inn for every type of business trip.
Should I stay or should I go?
You always have a choice. Book now at choicehotels.com.
We're all in this together. That's why California Health and Wellness and Ampla Health partner to bring you quality health care under Medi-Cal.
Ampla Health has health centers throughout Northern California to meet your health care needs.
Your health affects your life, and California Health and Wellness, a Medi-Cal plan choice, has programs that make it simple to take charge of both.
We're all in this together. We're with you. We're for you.
To choose your plan and healthcare provider, call Healthcare Options at 1-800-430-4263. 1-800-430-4263.
You're listening to KMYC Marysville, 1410 AM, The Patriot, Marysville and Yuba City's #1 talk station.
Hi, everybody. You're listening to The Dirt, and I'm super excited, as I keep saying, that Betsy Lewis is here with us because she is an intuitive. She's just an author. She's got so many things going on, and we've been chatting about UFOs and cattle mutilations. We were talking about her book. She's just got a lot of information. So if you do want to find out more about Betsy, you can go to her website. She's going to give you all that information in just a few minutes. However, I did want to ask, for the listeners' sake, about your abduction. I believe first time it happened was when you were about 8 months old. The second time was the experience you had with the UFO when you were about 8 years old. And so I was just wondering if you could kind of share that with everybody.
Sure. Well, the first event, when I was 8 months old, my parents were attending the University of Idaho in Moscow, and they decided to take a trip to southern Idaho to see my grandparents and other relatives. And my dad had driven the lonely highway from Moscow to southern Idaho. Many times it'd take about 8 hours to get there, so he knew how long it would take. And they left late on a Friday, and they were going through an area called the New Meadows area, and it was just a few scattered ranches around. They hadn't seen a car for miles, which they thought was kind of strange, because usually there'd be something going by. But out of the clear blue, they hear this horrendous roar. I mean, it was a roar, and it just shook the car. They thought a plane was going to crash on them. That's the only thing they could imagine. And my father pulled off to the side of the road. They got out, and there was nothing in the sky, nothing. The sound, the roar stopped immediately. Well, that was the story they had always told me. And I was just, of course, 8 months old. I was in a little basket in the back seat. But then my uncle, it was the early 1980s, he said, well, did your parents tell you the story? And I said, yeah, they heard the sound, and that was it. And he says, no, that's not it.
Wow.
There was 2 hours they couldn't account for. That the whole family thought that my parents were in a car accident. I went, oh, my goodness.
Okay, so they just lost. Did they ever get, like, I don't know, like go under hypnosis of any type or anything like that?
Yes, it was 1981-82 that I contacted Ann Druffel, who was working for MUFON at the time, and she's a well-known author who's written books about abductions, the Tujunga Canyon contacts, and she regressed both my mom and I separately. And my mom was so frightened. I heard the recording later, but my mom was so stressed and so frightened that there was something outside the car, and she kept telling my father not to roll down the window. She felt that something was going to abduct me. She had dreams after the event that something was going to take us away. And she kept talking about some kind of strange smell in the air. She just felt something was out there. At one point, she did say that she saw something up in the sky, but Anne didn't get into that questioning. I wish she would have, but she didn't. And I told a story that, it sounds incredible, and I don't know, I kind of questioned because I've always been into UFOs, but I said that we were actually abducted and taken up into this craft and experimented with. I saw my mother in a tube-like structure. I saw my father down below. There was the floor was clear, and you could see below there was another level to the UFO, and little gray aliens did their abduction. I felt something go into the back of my neck, and I don't know if it was an implant or what, but that was the story I told, Lori. And I said, I don't know if I believe that an 8-month-old could remember. They say that, our memory, our subconscious records everything even before we were born. So did I remember such an incident, or was it something that I picked up through the years from the stories I've read? I don't know. I really don't know. I question it, like I said, but I feel that, after my second UFO encounter with the dreams that I start having, and I've always felt when UFOs are around, I've just had some strange things happen. When I was camping during the 90s, I swore that there were aliens around at that time. It was just a really strange thing. I don't know if you want me to relate that story.
Yeah.
Well, a friend and I had gone into the mountains to go to hike into this hot springs, and we got back. It was kind of late, and we decided that we'd spend the night in our sleeping bags in the back of his Blazer, and we went into a deep sleep. I know that. And we parked up against what was in back of us was all these trees were kind of down. It was bushes. It was thick, dense shrub. And there was just nothing behind us. There was no way that anybody could get back there. But I woke up, and I heard somebody talking in a strange language. And they went past us so fast. And I tried to move, and I couldn't move, and he couldn't move. And
Weird.
I know. And then finally, we could finally get up, and I grabbed a flashlight and looked in back of us. I didn't see anybody running away. If they ran away, they didn't have a flashlight, and why they didn't stumble all over all these trees and everything that were down behind us.
Yeah.
And it was so weird. And my friend was just so freaked. He said, "We're out of here. We're getting out of here. I'm done staying here." So something happened.
I think that is such an incredible experience. I can't even believe that. I mean, I believe it. It's just so amazing. Like the fact that you were kind of like in a paralysis is interesting. I mean, a lot of people say they have that experience whenever they've encountered aliens. And
exactly.
So do you think that it's because of you that you guys had that experience, or do you think it was a random additional experience?
Well, it might have been because of this friend. There were some strange experiences with this friend of mine.
Really?
Yeah, I think he attracted strange things. But I had other things happen. I woke up one time. I had a dream that was so real that an alien was standing in my bedroom, and the next morning I woke up with this polygon red mark on my right wrist, and it had little dots around it like little planets. And I thought, well, maybe there was something on my bed that caused the indentation, the mark, right?
Okay.
And there was nothing. There was no watch. There was nothing that could have caused it, and it stayed for quite a while and then slowly faded. So I thought, that's really weird.
That is strange.
Yeah, it was a 7-sided object, polygon, I guess that is.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, that's pretty cool, too. And then when you were 8, you got followed by a UFO home from school.
Yeah, I was 7 years old from
Or
first
7.
grade.
Okay.
Yeah, I was walking home from school, and it was a cloudy day. It was October, and there just wasn't the traffic around like there usually was on this road, and I felt something looking at me, or I just had a feeling that something was watching me, and I looked up in the sky, and here's this giant silver disc. And what the strange thing was that it seemed to increase and decrease in size, and I was frightened out of my head because, people were talking about flying saucers then, and I would hide. I'd walk a little ways and hide in a bush, and for some reason I decided to go a different way, which was totally away from where I lived. Maybe it's a screen memory, I don't know, but I ended up at a house knocking on a door, and no one answered, and I went inside and hid under the bed. And I must have been there for a long time because my mother was frantic when I finally got home, and she walked outside with me, and we looked up in the sky. There was nothing there, but I walked around the neighborhood, and an elderly lady said that other children in the neighborhood were frightened of something.
Oh, wow.
So
and how long, how late were you from getting home or whatever? Did your mom say how much time?
Probably, at least, half an hour or more.
Wow.
So she was frantic. It usually take me like 10, 15 minutes to get home.
That is so interesting.
Yeah.
So you have had so many experiences. It's hard to cram it into 2 hours, but I just want to thank you so much for being here on The Dirt again tonight. I just really love having you here.
Thank you.
Thank you too. And I was just wondering if you wanted to give everybody your website and any other information that you'd like to give out tonight.
Okay, sure would. It's BetsyLewis.com. Betsy is BetsyLewis.com. And I have several books out, Communicating with the Other Side, True Experiences of a Psychic Medium. And I can tell you I've had some amazing experiences, especially with my sister lately, communicating with me and doing all kinds of things.
Awesome.
So, they'll enjoy that. Angels, Aliens, and Prophecy 2, Mystic Revelations of 13, and all the strange things associated with 13.
Oh, I loved that one.
Pope.
I read that one too. That was amazing.
Thank you. And my latest one, Earth Energy.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Betsy. So hopefully get out there, you guys, grab some of her books. They're great reads. And not only that, just very spiritual. That's the one thing that I really loved about reading your books, any of them. I mean, you're just a lover of our earth and people and energy. And so, I mean, it's always a pleasure to read your books because they're just positive.
Oh, thank you. And, I hope it helps them, especially with earth energy, and because I want us to heal the earth. I believe we have the power to do that. We can create anything we want with the power of our mind. We're that powerful, and that's what I hope, that we change what's going on with the planet right now.
I do too. And thank you again so much for taking the time on a Saturday night to be on my show. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Lori.
Have
a great evening.
You too, Betsy. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, everybody, we're going to actually go to a break. When we come back, I do believe we're going to have Bonnie Sorber with our vegan recipe.
We're riding into your town. The Flying U Rodeo's in town. Bronc riding, steer wrestling cowboys. The Flying U Rodeo's in town.
Get ready, hold on tight, and enjoy the ride as Cotton Rosser and the Flying U Rodeo present the 82nd annual Stampede Rodeo Memorial Day weekend in Marysville's Riverfront Park. It is perfect entertainment for the entire family, with kids mutton bustin', the Flying Cowboys, freestyle motorcycle act, and Bobby Kerr Mustang act. Don't miss 1 minute of the action as the country's top cowboys and cowgirls ride for top honors. Sunday is Military Appreciation Night. Stampede starts at 5:30 Saturday and Sunday, May 23rd and 24th. Save by purchasing advance tickets at the Happy Viking in Yuba City and Paw Foreman's Pet Supplies in West Yuba City, as well as the City Grill in Wheatland.
The Flying U Rodeo's in town.
Here's some information on the average American home. A few bedrooms, a bath or two, a home with parents, a couple of kids, a cat named Whiskers, and a dog? You guessed it, Rover. Let's see, it's got 2 color TVs, a stereo, Grandma's silver. Well, you get the picture. It's a home with everything except security. And if your home isn't protected with a First Alert professional security system, your home and family aren't safe. Don't risk becoming a statistic, because you can protect your home and family more affordably than ever before with a First Alert professional security system. Because there's no place quite like home.
On average, a homeowner can expect to be broken into twice in their lifetime. Don't wait to become another victim. Call Golden Bear Alarms today. Golden Bear Alarms. Call on them before the burglars call on you at 743-2077. That's 743-2077 today.
Have you ever tried to repair your own plumbing problem? It starts with a faucet washer, ends up with an appointment for a permit with the city, and an EPA study to reroute your plumbing through South Carolina. Or how about the plumber that says, "Oh, this is going to cost you a little more than I thought. We got 7 guys out here on overtime." How about this one? "It's going to take a little longer than I expected, so maybe you folks could get a hotel for a while," right? That is not a feel-good plumbing experience. Well, it's time to call the Plumbing Doctor. They charge by the job and not by the hour, and their in-home estimates, they're totally free. They have menu pricing, so you know the true cost right from the start. They have a high-quality line of green products, fully stocked service trucks, and uniformed professional technicians. Now that sounds like a feel-good plumbing experience. The Plumbing Doctor. Give them a call at 671-9111 or go online at plumbingmd.com. Kittle's Outdoor and Sports in Colusa is your one-stop headquarters for all to do with hunting and fishing. They're a complete outfitter for both sports, whatever's in season. Family-owned and operated, Kittle's offers you catalog prices with professional service. Their employees have a lot of experience with hunting and fishing and are committed to making sure their customers get the right equipment for their outdoor adventure, as well as giving them the right information about where, how, and when. In addition to these huge inventory of hunting and fishing equipment and apparel, they offer offer a wide selection of name-brand firearms and ammunition. They have rifles, shotguns, and handguns. Whether you're a hunter or shooting sports enthusiast, the friendly and knowledgeable staff at Kittles will help you find the right firearm for your individual needs. They also have a nice selection of archery equipment for the bow hunters. For all your hunting and fishing needs, come and see the pros at Kittles Outdoor and Sport, located at 888 Market Street in Colusa. Check out the website at kittlesoutdoor.com.
SolarEnergyForLife.com. In case you were wondering what the difference is between SunPower by Alternative Energy Systems and those big box outfits, we've narrowed it down to one really important factor: trust. So we've asked some of our clients to share their personal experience with you.
People ask me all the time, who put the solar on my house? I proudly tell them,
SunPower by AES. They're experts at design, installation,
and they know all the programs and incentives. My consultant worked with me on options like leases, loans,
and purchasing my system. From project management to installation,
AES was thorough, genuine,
and dependable. The team at AES really are solar experts. That's why when people ask, I tell them.
I tell them.
I trust SunPower by Alternative Energy Systems.
SolarEnergyForLife.com. It's happy hour right now at Java Detour with gourmet coffee at fast food prices, featuring delish drinks like the ice blended caramel white mocha that has tons of caramel drizzle and topped with a mountain of whipped cream, or the black and white mocha that comes hot iced or blended. It has the perfect combination of dark and white chocolate. Oh, so good and just the pick-me-up you need. Java Detour happy hour 5 to 7 p.m. Gourmet coffee at fast food prices. See you in a few.
Easy in and out. Highway 20 in Yuba City, 10th Street in Marysville, and 3rd Street in Marysville.
John L. Sullivan Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram invite you to come tour their brand new store. John L. Sullivan is under new management and has built a great team of your neighbors that are committed to our community and want you to be well taken care of.
That guy is everywhere. He's at my brother's games. I see him at school. I see him when we go shopping. And now I see him at John L. Sullivan's when we're buying a car.
Why do the people at John L. Sullivan Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram seem so familiar? Because they probably are. John L. Sullivan Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram. We're your friends. We're your neighbors.
John L. Sullivan Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram, with experienced new management and team, welcome you to enjoy their state-of-the-art facility, service department, and customer service area. 950 Harder Parkway across from Walmart in Yuba City. Shop 24/7 at yubacitydodge.com. Then visit their new showroom for a big selection with your neighbors, giving you the best experience it can be.
My family and I were driving our one-day-old son home from the hospital when we got a flat tire. With no spare in our car and nothing but rice fields in sight, we called Les Schwab. When Joe saw us on the side of the road with 2 babies, he insisted he'd drive me and the kids home.
Let's get you home safe.
While my husband waited for the tow truck. In no time, Joe's crew had our tire repaired and wouldn't even accept a tip for a ride home, saying it was
baby's first gift.
I'm Estee Wood, and that's my Les Schwab story.
Les Schwab, doing the right thing since 1952.
And now Grocery Outlet presents Lowest Prices and the Low Price Lowdown.
Hi, it's me, Lois Prices, the official Grocery Outlet Low Price and Happiness Ambassador. And as your ambassador, I just wanted to remind you that there are more reasons to shop Grocery Outlet than the amazing deals, the jaw-dropping bargains, and various holy moly wowies in every aisle. You should also shop Grocery Outlet because every single Grocery Outlet is locally owned. We literally are your neighbors. So when you shop Grocery Outlet, you're supporting your community, not some gray-eyed executive floating on the 87th floor of some steel tower. Nope. But just because we're in your neighborhood doesn't mean we won't go far and wide to find bargains for you. Because we will. We'd walk to the end of the earth to find deals for you. But to save time, we'll probably drive.
Grocery Outlet Bargain Market.
Grocery Outlet Bargain Market. Each family run and independently operated. Go to groceryoutlet.com or call 888-BARGAIN for the store nearest you.
Hi, everybody. You're listening to The Dirt. Again, I just want to thank Betsy J. Lewis for being on the show today. She was a lot of fun and a great return guest. Now we have Bonnie Sorber, my sister, here. She is going to give us her vegan recipe of the week. Hi, Bonnie.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Good. So what do you have for us?
I have cookie dough for one, and then I was thinking maybe I already shared this before. I can't remember.
That's okay. Cookie dough's great.
I think I prepared it for you for last week, and then last week I missed last week because you aired it early, and so that's why I think maybe I shared it already because I just found this recipe recently, so I'm like,
then you did
freaking myself out right now.
That's so funny. Well, I mean, I want to hear it. I don't think it was shared on the show recently, so cookie dough, bring it.
Okay, so it's 1 tablespoon of firm coconut oil. You need it to be firm, not liquidy.
Okay.
And 1 tablespoon of maple syrup or honey or brown rice syrup. I've used all 3 different ones, different sweeteners, and I really like maple syrup the best, but I'm all out right now and I'm out of honey. So today already I made this recipe, and I used the brown rice syrup, and it was still pretty good.
Okay.
And then half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Then you mix all those 3 things together really well as you can with a fork. And then you add 3 to 4 tablespoons of coconut flour. And then you mix it together again, and then it should be about the consistency of cookie dough.
Yeah.
And then you just add your carob chips or chocolate chips, and then mix it a little bit. You can add like 4 tablespoons or 3 tablespoons, depends on how many chocolate chips you like per bite, right?
Yeah, I like lots.
Mix it together, and then there you go, and you can just eat it right there. I mean, it's the cookie dough that you eat, like if you have a craving for cookie dough itself specifically, which I'm not a huge fan of, but I like this recipe, and I totally eat it as a snack all the time.
Well, one good thing you could do, too, is maybe you could take that cookie dough and you could put it into some of that, like, vegan ice cream stuff, the coconut ice cream you make, and you can make cookie dough ice cream.
Yeah, you totally could.
So you could kind of freeze it and then put it in there and make it, just like they have it like that. So yummy, I bet.
It is so good. I make it all the time, this recipe.
Okay, so I made vegan, actually, cookies the other day. So I know you always share the recipe with us. So this time I'm going to share one back. And I was like, okay, first of all, I don't really like eating eggs because for obvious reasons, they come out of a chicken's butt. Okay, and then and so I like making it's just the fresh pressed peanut butter, and then you mix it with honey, and then what else? It was 3 ingredients. Okay, so the peanut butter, honey.
The bananas?
No, oatmeal.
Oh, oatmeal.
Yeah.
I've seen a recipe like that before. And then you put it in the oven?
Yeah, all I did is just mix that up. It was just those 3 ingredients. Put it in the oven for it was like 350. I rolled them in just like balls, like 1-inch balls, and then just put them in there, and it turned out perfect. They were so delicious, and they didn't have eggs in it. They didn't have any preservatives, nothing. It was just all natural. It was really yummy, and I just had it with coffee and stuff.
That is good. That is a perfect meal, and it's packed with protein with the peanut butter.
Yeah.
The fresh peanut butter, and oatmeal's good.
Oh, my goodness.
And I like honey.
So do I. And it was that really good honey that's it's kind of...
The raw kind?
Yeah, where it's kind of grains in it.
Yeah.
It's so delicious. It's so good poured over fruit, too. Oh, my goodness. So good. So, well, thank you, Bonnie, so much for calling in with the recipe. We're almost at the end of the show. So are you guys doing anything fun tonight, you and Miss Sylvia?
We are probably just going to watch a movie and hang out. We went to a birthday party today, so I'm pretty tired.
Really? You're like, we're going to kick
birthday
it.
Party.
So you guys are just going to kick it and eat cookie dough, huh?
Yeah.
That sounds like so much fun. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah. Well, I know I might stop by. I did say that I might, so I think I probably will. Might as well come over and see the little girls over there.
Yeah, and have some vegan cookie dough, freshly made.
Oh, my goodness, this sounds like so much fun.
This takes literally seconds to make. That's it. You can make it in a minute, 1 minute or less.
Are you serious? 1 minute or less, and you've got cookie dough? That sounds like my kind of cookie dough.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much for calling into the Dirt, Bonnie, and we'll get a good recipe from you next week.
Okay, sounds great. I love you, Laura. Have a great afternoon.
Thanks.
Evening.
I love you, too. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
All right. Well, I just want to thank our special guest tonight, Betsy J. Lewis, for being on the show, and Bonnie Sorba for a vegan recipe. And I want to thank Chris Singleton very much for being here and producing the show. You're awesome. And
back at you.
Thank you. And I hope everybody has a great week. And, of course, The Dirt will be here next week, same time, 5 to 7 p.m.